fittest can survive here. Imagine you have the super senses of a hunter. Your very survival will depend on your killing skills. Are they good enough? Get ready to join the super predators in their underwater world. This is planet Ocean, not planet Earth. This is the realm of the super predators. There's not 1 inch of the ocean they haven't conquered. The water around Hawaii is no exception. For every prey, there is a predator, from the tiniest up. Only a few make it to the top of the ocean food chain, such as our guide, the Laysan albatross, or these lightning-swift tuna. However, our close encounters on this journey involve just 2 predator groups: the dolphins, with close-knit families who hunt as a team, and sharks, solitary, sleek and graceful, and above all, fast and equipped with razor-sharp senses. Sharks and dolphins, do they have anything in common? One's a fish, the other a mammal, but they patrol the same territory, hunt the same prey. Fish and mammal, 2 separate solutions to the same evolutionary pressures. It all began 4 billion years ago, deep in the oceans, with the very first single-celled organisms, bacteria. Through a process of change from simple to complex, these microscopic creatures eventually gave rise to both sharks and dolphins. First came soft-bodied creatures, then those with hard shells, and later, the fishes. 500 million years ago, the first vertebrates were jawless. They ate with mouths like suction cups, as do these living fossils, the hagfish. Once their descendants acquired jaws, they crossed a critical threshold. They could absorb more energy, develop complex brains. Now predators had sharper, more specialized prey-tracking senses. The ghost-like rat-tail fish still haunts the depths. Its relative, the shark, rose to conquer shallower regions. And they were well established 400 million years ago, when the amphibians, ancestors of the dolphins, went landwards. Here was a world with new horizons, new challenges for living. So the amphibians had to adapt quickly in order to walk on the earth, breathe air, and eat. It was the beginning of the age of reptiles, the age of the dinosaurs. Even while dinosaurs still reigned, the planet's future rulers appeared. The initially insignificant mammals. And then, no one knows why, some of them took to the seas. Dolphins still have traces of their land ancestry. Their flippers were once front legs. Their back legs, however, vanished completely. But today, they still need the world above the water and inhabit the two radically different worlds of air and sea because they must come to the surface to breathe. That is their weak point. They have to enter a dangerous world where the tables can be turned on them and attack come from any quarter. When they became sea-dwelling, the ancestral dolphins entered the world of their distant cousins, the sharks. Meet the world's biggest fish, the whale shark. A 6.5-foot jaw is followed by a body over 40 feet long. Like any other fish, the whale shark must keep swimming or die of asphyxiation. The current it creates by swimming forces oxygen-bearing water through its gills. There's an upside to enforced perpetual motion. This giant only needs to make slight sideways movements of its tail fin to advance. The dolphin's tail fin moves up and down. Two separate evolutionary solutions. Forward motion alone isn't enough. You need to steer. The gray reef shark maneuvers using rigid pectoral fins. This big fish is designed for fast attack, like a jet fighter. This can be the wrong design for some jobs. Here, for instance, where a carelessly discarded dragnet presents some juicy tidbits. Parrotfish, a unicorn fish, and the big one, a red snapper. Such tantalizingly close prizes, so what's stopping it? A torpedo body is perfect for shooting through the water, but the reef shark needs to unbend a bit to take fish from the net, and it can't. So close to the prize, yet out of reach. Enter a white-tip reef shark, expert at maneuvering in difficult terrain. It's less elegant looking, but it can get into tight corners. Its supple and agile body is just tailor-made for winkling fish from rocks. A real prize winner. Contrary to accepted belief, sharks don't have big appetites. They can survive several weeks without eating if prey is scarce. But when it is, sharing is out of the question. To survive in the ocean, hunters must rely on their keen senses to seize any chance meal. Ironically, though the white tip may have won the prize, it now manages to fall foul of the net itself. So much for the better body design. A shark's brain is small, so calculating the odds is beyond it. It's a creature of instinct, action and reaction. Its survival depends on responding rapidly to stimuli, on teeth that can get it a meal and get it out of trouble. The predator quickest off the mark and best adapted to a particular habitat is the one that gets lucky. But how do predators track prey that isn't right under their noses? A group of striped tiger sharks feast on a dead blue whale. 100 tons of meat and blubber. A monster meal for fish that could have several weeks in forced diet ahead of them. To see how the tiger sharks located the whale, we need to turn back the clock. A few hours ago, the sick and exhausted animal sought refuge in a quiet lagoon. But on its way in, it left a scent trail detectable to a shark from a couple of miles or more away. Because sharks possess perhaps the world's most acute sense of smell, the shark turns its head left and right to let the whale's scent enter each nostril. This gives it a precise reading of the direction it's coming from. In fact, to the shark, the whale's smell is a corridor of scent. The shark only has to swim up this corridor to reach the whale. The first bite is a test, a taster. As blood leaks into the ocean currents, other sharks will quickly track it. Say a top predator isn't gifted with such an amazing sense of smell. Can it still locate distant prey? The answer is yes. Dolphins lost their sense of smell as they evolved into sea creatures. Their nostrils migrated to the top of their heads and became blowholes for breathing through. They instead use hearing to locate distant prey. And even more efficient than their ears are their lower jaws, nature's answer to radio receivers. This female is teaching her calf how to hunt with its special jaws. First, she scans the sand. Then she selects very precise places to dig, as if she could see the hidden prey. This is her view of the seabed, and what we can't see, but she can, she owes to a rare adaptation, echolocation. Sound travels 5 times faster in water than in air, and when the dolphin emits rapid, high-frequency clicks in a concentrated, carefully directed beam from the so-called melon on its forehead, they echo back to be picked up almost immediately by its resonant lower jaw. Sound travels through loose material like sand and bounces off solid objects underneath like hidden fish. Low-frequency sounds travel a long way. High-frequency sounds are better for more precise, close detection work. Now it's the youngster's turn. For practice makes perfect, and this is one skill its survival will definitely depend on. Echolocation is ideal for murky water, as well as distance detection. To our knowledge, the only sea creatures that belong to the exclusive underwater club of sonar hunters are the cetaceans, dolphins, and whales. But the other oceanic top dogs are not to be beaten. Fish have a sense that rivals the dolphin's sonar. It's the sense of touch that works over long distance. As it swims along, this green turtle creates vibrations. This shark is over 150 yards away. It can't yet see the turtle, but easily feels the vibrations it's making through a line of countless nerve endings that run the length of its body. These respond to pressure waves from vibrations as tiny as a fish's heartbeat. It's an astounding piece of natural technology called the lateral line. A shark's lateral line can help it calculate the size of its prey, how far away it is, and where it's going. But when it comes to taste, nothing beats direct contact. How can such a well-equipped super predator possibly fail? Sharks have these Hawaiian waters under constant surveillance. To prove it, let's follow one of them. A white-tip reef shark, nocturnal and rather shy and placid. At least until something stimulates its senses, whereupon its gills pump in more water so oxygen can race to its muscles, ready for rapid response as we go inside its skin. And the hunt is on. First, smell kicks in to track the prey. Then, the lateral line responds, delivering more detailed information. Then sight takes over from around 100 feet away. But once the shark is just inches from its prey, it relies on another sense, electroreception, the ability to detect electrical fields. Here's what the pinecone fish's electrical field is doing. All animals generate electricity. Their hearts and muscles produce it. Around its mouth, a shark has jelly-filled canals called the ampullae of Lorenzini. These are electrical impulse receivers. However, they only work at 10 inches or less because they're designed to detect the tiniest electrical charges. Hammerhead sharks have perfected this sense. Their bizarre heads are in fact giant electricity receptors. Groups this size are a rare sight now. That's because our negative impact on the world's oceans has caused hammerhead numbers to crash. Imagine trying to hide from so many skilled hunters. Even tucked away in the coral, the pinecone fish wouldn't normally stand a chance. However, the sharks have not gathered here to eat. What brings all these white-tip sharks together? The answer is the irresistible scent of female whitetips ready to mate. The shark's acute sense of smell has already stirred them into a state of contagious excitement, which will soon turn to frenzy. A male appears to be attacking a female, but in fact, the only way he can grip onto her in order to mate is with his sharp teeth. It takes him around 5 minutes to complete the sex act and to pass his sperm through a pair of specially modified fins into her. That seems like an eternity to have to hold on tight and drive away hot-headed, aggressive rivals at the same time. If she tries to escape, he bites harder. The female manages to break away, but other suitors will soon catch up. Will this violent mating bear fruit? Apparently not. The female has been left badly wounded, and her blood seeps into the water. Inevitably, a big shark has been drawn to the scent. It's a silvertip. Sharks are not cannibalistic, and though they won't eat their own species, sharks won't hesitate to feast on other species. The kill attracts two fast and aggressive gray reef sharks. They quickly force the big shark to drop what's left of the unfortunate female. The silvertip will have to find an easy meal somewhere else. In the seas below, some bottlenose dolphins are also intent on mating. Here, it's less a case of following frenzied individual urges than of family sharing and apparently experiencing pleasure. Two males share one female, with not a hint of competition between them. In the group is a solitary, long-snouted spinner dolphin who's lost her own group. Bottlenoses will often kill porpoises that stray onto their territory, but they've adopted this member of a smaller dolphin family who couldn't survive on her own. She's been lucky. The spinner dolphin is getting used to inshore water life. It's a novelty to her to be with this family of around 10 bottlenoses when she's used to living in deep water with 200 spinners. Out in deeper waters, more dolphins equals safer dolphins. Spinners and bottlenoses cannot interbreed, but that doesn't stop them using intimate body language in order to cement family ties. Unlike sharks, dolphins need only a few seconds to mate, but do so repeatedly. Because bonding is so important to these group-living animals, much of their time is taken up in playing together. Playing tag with a sea snake that was in the wrong place at the wrong time provides another opportunity for group bonding. This bottlenose is about to illustrate how valuable it is to have a family. A sound from the depths draws it away from the group. As it's too young to have mastered echolocation, it's using its eyes to find the source. And there is the source, 130 feet down, the silver-tip shark in a new location, still looking for a meal. Ordinarily, it wouldn't attack dolphins, but a calf, all on its own, is too good a chance to pass up. A rush of bubbles saves the calf because they sabotage the shark's expert senses, particularly its vibration-detecting lateral line. The youngster makes good its escape, fleeing to the bosom of its family, whose familiar call it can hear. But the white tip is persistent and now tries to single out another calf. Seeing the danger, an adult moves in to defend it. And at the same time, the mothers lead their calves to safety. Each time the large shark moves in, the dolphins block it. It looks like a stalemate. Enough's enough. The whole clan now intervenes. The bottlenoses would have no trouble ramming the silver tip and puncturing its large and fragile liver. But their aim is to protect their calves and head it off. So they drive it gradually into the abyss. Their success demonstrates the superior power of numbers and of teamwork. But out beyond these blue Hawaiian waters, in other oceans, there are other teams at work. Leaving the Pacific, we traveled to the Atlantic, to southern Argentina and the coast of Patagonia. With a degree of self-interested curiosity, a Patagonian sea lion watches a family of dusky dolphins in frantic action. Duskies are smaller dolphins than bottlenoses. They are fast and agile, and that's what you need if you want to dine on anchovy. The sea lion is having a frustrating time. He can't catch anything. He needs to do like the Duskies and get some help. First, they corral the anchovies. Then scare them with bubbles and drive them to the surface in a ball. Then keep them there while they pick them off. It's the signal for a massive free-for-all, a feast laid on by dolphin teamwork. It's clear these group-hunting mammals can dominate temperate seas, but what about colder ones? We travel on, south from Patagonia, to the cold waters of the sub-Antarctic, between the latitudes of the infamous roaring 40s and the howling 50s, and the world's most hostile ocean. Rising up here and there out of the fearsome Southern Ocean waves are a few austere, wind-battered islands. This one is part of Prince Edward Archipelago and home of a possible contender for the title of perfect predator. Some rock hopper penguins race to land. The most dangerous place for them is just close to shore. Life is perilous at the penguin level of the food chain. Their nightmare? Sharks. This is no mere shark. A pod of orcas, also known as killer whales, have staked out this territory. Orcas are over twice the size of their bottlenose cousins, the kind of heavyweight needed to master the massive 100-foot waves of the Southern Ocean. The distinctively marked mammals can power their way at 30 miles an hour, propelled by a mighty tail fin. Orcas have outcompeted even the biggest sharks to become the top predators in these waters. There are still sharks here, but this strange beast is nowhere near the surface. It's a Pacific sleeper shark. 5,000 feet down, it's dining off a rare sunken treasure, a dead whale. On the surface, the pace picks up as the orcas assemble for an annual feast, something much more substantial than their usual diet of fish. The matriarch leads her daughters and grandson to the rendezvous. It's time to get under the skin of these magnificent hunters and learn their tactics. It's the southern spring, and the elephant seals have gathered to breed. It's a major assembly of growing families that, from a predator's point of view, is one big superstore of protein and fat. The orcas know from experience that the female elephant seals must go fishing sooner or later. Visibility is poor. The orcas could keep in touch by sonar, but elephant seals can hear sounds nearly 2 miles off. Radio silence is therefore of utmost importance. On shore, giant petrels keep an eye out for the weak or wounded. There's no point in the orcas waiting. The seals won't budge in this weather. The family switches bay at a signal from the matriarch. She's been coming here for the last 40 years and knows the island's every contour. She leads them to calmer waters and listens out for seals at the same time. They dive to where it's quieter and less tiring, 100 feet down. Now it's safe to reactivate sonar contact. A single ping at regular intervals, just enough to keep together. The orcas will now silently listen out for sounds from their prey. There's a seal breeding beach just above, and any seal that goes fishing will have to pass right over the orcas' heads. Nothing. Or, wait. A flotilla of penguins returns to land. A poor substitute for a seal, but why be picky? It's still a good lesson in acoustic hunting. The technique? Wait motionless and in silence, using the penguins' giveaway sounds to locate them. And, at just the right moment, charge. The advantage now lies with the orcas, but they're not used to circling like this and will quickly tire of waiting. However, the penguins won't hold out for long either. They want to get back to their colony on the beach. Who will give in first? Far too small a meal for a big orca, but fine as a snack for a calf. The scavengers can fight over what's left. The orcas now resume their patrol for the prey that still eludes them, the elephant seals. It's tough being a big elephant seal male. From birth to death, his life is one long race to feast and fatten up so that he can beat down the competition and become master of the beach, all in order to breed and pass on his genes. Exhausting. Years of struggle to become top dog, and no time to bask in the glory, because would-be masters of the beach are always trying to snatch a mating. The orcas are ready for the ambush. Before entering the bay, they dive so their giveaway dorsal fins are well hidden. A discreet call from the matriarch, and they take up positions. The eldest daughter crosses the bay to the mouth of the river. Fat little seal pups like to play in the current, and sometimes they wander off too far. So the daughter stationed here mustn't make any noise. A single short click tells the others she's ready. The youngest orca stations herself at the other end of the bay, waiting there to ambush. The matriarch and the calf have the job of creating pandemonium among their prey and distracting attention. When everyone's watching her, she and the calf will pretend to leave the bay, leaving her two daughters ready to spring the trap. From the beach, everything seems okay, and life returns to normal. A rival heavyweight has taken advantage of the mayhem to infiltrate the Beachmaster's harem. Big mistake. The female elephant seal sneaks off during the fight to head for the river. The orca listens, hears her, and waits for just the right moment to signal. Now, But sonar tells her the seals escape. She mustn't reach the sea. The eldest daughter sounds the alarm. A single excited call alerts the rest of the family. The seal's in dire straits. She tries to dive, but the matriarch, who's come back, anticipates this. Scavengers and a mass of blood. Telltale clues for those who know how to interpret them. Another orca family races to the spot. The matriarch's family is splitting the spoils. Each takes its share in complete silence, so as not to alert other orcas. Too late. They'd already heard the ruckus and have arrived to try and steal the kill. No opportunist is going to bully this family. The others have gotten the message and back off quietly. A face-off. But the food has gone now, and so there's no reason for conflict. Instead, the two families begin to socialize. Through various signals, the orcas celebrate a reunion because they all belong to the same clan, and their calls are a shared language. Their size, organization, incredible sonar and language. Does all this make the perfect super predator? It certainly gives orcas a considerable edge over all others. Perhaps in survival terms, it's better to be a big social mammal than a big solitary fish. To survive, all predators must obey the same rules. Adapt behavior to prey. Satisfy your hunger and no more. Shark and orca populations are tumbling worldwide from pollution and overfishing. It's a cruel paradox. We call them bloodthirsty killers, but they are being killed off by the planet's only truly insatiable predators.